Hello again, this is Victoria and this is the second lesson of my course, of the first module of my course, Create Your Online Course from Scratch. Today we're gonna speak about personal branding and sexy offers, meaning like very good, attractive offer. And those two key parameters I actually recommend to consider as the key points of your marketing strategy before launching your online project. Let's now check it in more depth. First of all, I want to underline that this course is very technical. Here, I'm not gonna judge or qualify you as a specialist. I'm not gonna discuss if your topic is good or bad, if your design or marketing is good or bad, because basically in business, there is no good or bad, beautiful, not beautiful. There is only working or not working, meaning it generates money or it doesn't. And sometimes the most ridiculous things that look ridiculous or that you will think, that will never work, will suddenly generate the biggest cash flow ever. But here I want that we check it from the technical point of view, from the logical point of view, and I want you to understand what kind of logic I implement before making a decision, so that you can as well implement this logic before making your own decisions. So let's go. The two key parameters you have to consider before starting the online business, before online educational business, is one, do you have a personal brand? Yes or no? And second, how wide is your topic? How wide is the niche and the market you're gonna work for? Why is it important? First of all, let's agree, what is personal branding? Personal branding literally means your face sells. Doesn't matter how many followers do you have. You can have 1 million followers, but if at the moment you place your name on a jar of a cream, it's not selling, congratulations, you don't have a personal branding. If you have 5,000 followers and you have very strong connection with them, and the moment you are sharing something, you receive with a lot of questions, people ask you advice, people try to talk to you, people engage in conversations with you, congratulations, you have a personal branding and you can start from here. If you don't have that, no problem. What you can do is a strategy of sexy offer. What means sexy offer? Your offer is so good and irresistible that people don't need to see the person behind. If your offer is very clear, very defined, very pronounced, it's addressing to a lot of people. People understand straightforward that this offer, this thing is gonna help them solve their problems. If your sales funnel is very clear, if people very well and very logically warmed up before buying something, you can just work on having a good offer. This is actually what I did a lot of times. For example, I have a case study that I did actually in my work with my previous clients. We needed to raise funds very quickly. We had some problems. We needed to receive the cash very, very fast, and we didn't have time to actually film something, to make any other educational product. So what actually I did, I contacted the no-name experts in beauty in another country. I bought with fixed price, very cheap, a set of master classes from them. We translated it in French because we were working at this moment for French market. And as a compilation of master classes, we launched it as a Christmas package with immediate access and unlimited lifetime access to all the products. So basically, it was a big package of lessons. It was very sexy price. It was very nice technique that everybody was looking for in the beauty. It was immediate and lifetime access. And nobody ever saw, not face, not the name, nothing of the educator. It was just the offer. People had it, people bought it, and we generated in a week around 20K with close to zero investment. So basically, this is what is possible to do if your offer is very well defined and very well pronounced. Second important key factor is how wide is your topic. So basically, the topic can be very wide, very generic. This topic is gonna be something that every person is, or the majority of people can be your potential clients. Health, sports, relationships, psychology, maybe style, all those kind of things are very generic, very broad. And even sometimes when the niche is so broad, you have to narrow it and target some particular audience, like style for teenagers or health for postpartum, so you can even narrow it on purpose. But you can have also very narrow niche, something for example as growing house plants or knitting, or for example something super niche like some rare coding language for very high-end and high qualified developers. This is going to be very niche, very narrow, and your targeted audience is going to be very limited. Considering that, you will have 4 combinations of these 2 factors that can actually, in different combinations, affect your marketing strategy. I actually have placed them from the best case scenario to the scenario I would avoid. And let's check it one by one. The best case scenario, and we can hardly argue that, is when you have a good personal branding, you already have have the audience that is ready to buy from you. They already wait for you to launch something, and you have a very wide audience, wide topic, wide market. What does it mean? You can actually touch a lot of people from your audience and outside, and you already pronounced and known and agreed specialist in this topic. But there are always ways to make your topic broader. So you can always try to generically reach more people than you was planning at the beginning. Check the example. Yoga for the lazy, 10 minutes training from bed for every day, okay, as a marathon, touching everyone, and advanced in yoga for yoga teachers with the right to become an instructor. How many people would accept or would consider doing yoga in bed for general health, and how many people are already certified or let's say confirmed yoga teachers who would like to basically get some advanced level in yoga with the right of being an instructor after. So basically, even if your niche is actually broad, you can always play with the broadness of the topic and target more narrow or more wide audience. Second scenario, which is also good, as from my example, when you have no personal branding but your niche and your topic is very broad, so you can actually target a very wide audience. How many times did you see the advertising of a book, of a course, of a blueprint, of a PDF, of a video without even any reference to personality? So that means that actually broad topics are quite easily reachable to the audience if they are very well defined. If it clearly solves the problems, it defines the needs of the people, the title is very understandable, it's very, very important that the title is very understandable, that there is no creativity or puzzle in the title, and the offer is price-wise sexy, so you can't really go high in price if it's really generic and no name, but you can go very wide, very horizontal in your marketing in terms of you can generate a lot of traffic and have a lot of sales just because the product is very generic. So this is a good scenario. Go for it if your topic is broad, and you can in parallel work on your personal branding because it's always a plus. Third scenario, a little bit less promising, I say, because it requires much more input, much more investment in your personal branding, is when you have a personal branding. Let's say you're a specialist in something, but the niche is very narrow. For example, if you're an IT developer, iOS developer, and you're working with very specific coding language, or if you're doing something in finance, or it's a medical update, so you are already, for example, a very known specialist and you are an influencer in your niche, but your niche is narrow. The only way you can grow there is vertically. You can make the price higher, and this is your strategy. It can be fine, you can target a big audience, but you have to input in your personal branding and in your value as a specialist. That means articles, conferences, being visible, being part of communities, being the person of reference, and in this case you can really put quite a high check on the products even though they're very niche. The scenario me as producer would abandon is and would not take an expert, for example, to promote, to boost this kind of product, is when you have no brand and your niche is very, very narrow. You may be a good specialist, you work in some, secret laboratory, and you have amazing microbiologists, then you can teach people, to do something amazing in microbiology, but your market gonna be so narrow that your only path to be an educator is actually to address the specialized educational institutions and be their guest professor or even in-house professor in this field. I have never been, till now, very rarely, I was just sometimes giving lessons or master classes or conferences, but I have never acted as an expert for the whole course. It's also my first experience, but I have been a producer and I accompanied a lot of experts on their path from launching an online business till the successful stories. And the thing is, as a producer, I would never take an expert of no name and no branding, no branding and a very narrow niche. By the way, as for your understanding, producer takes up to 50 or 60% of the revenue, because being the specialist is easier than actually manage to sell things. Just for your information, if ever you would hire a producer, that you know how it functions. How do you choose a topic of your main product? First of all, later in the course, we're gonna build the product matrix, the customer journey, and we're gonna give name to each step. In your course, the main course that you're gonna be actually selling, we're gonna just call it a main product, because this is gonna be a core of your sales funnel, but it's just gonna be one step of it. So we're gonna, from now on, call it main product, and we're gonna just so that we take this habit. So the secret of success is actually not being the most knowledgeable. It's not even being the biggest expert in the field, and not even having the biggest following base. The secret first is consistency. So you have to be very consistent in your promotion. People have to have a lot of contact with you on your topic. They have to see your ads, your posts, your TikTok videos, I don't know, your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTube, your articles, your conferences, your face, your name. That you have to have contact with the audience. What it brings to you? First of all, it brings you personal brand awareness, so people start to know you and recognize you or your product. For example, sometimes if you want to develop your school and not your personality, you can actually act from the name of the school or your brand, but whatever, people start to recognize it. You actually boost brand awareness. But the second thing, which is more important, maybe even more important, is that you start receiving feedback and questions. And those questions and those feedbacks is something that helps you understand what is actually interesting to the audience. You might think it's one thing, but it can be something completely opposite. Let's say, I give you also an example. You are a designer, interior designer, and you want to teach people how to design and to make the interior designs in flats. Or maybe you want to educate interior designers. But you are as well a very organized person, and you were showing your personal wardrobe or your cupboard in the kitchen, how you organize everything in the containers, and suddenly this was a topic that people were, how you do it? Where did you buy it? Like, what is your system? Can you share? And suddenly you will realize that maybe your topic is organization of the space, of the living space. And maybe your audience is much more interested in like making studio, like small living space comfortable. And your marketing is gonna be like, don't have money for the designer, want to make your studio a nice living space, want to be organized and stop living in the mess, get my online course of how to organize your studio, how to design the studio, smart solutions for the studios, plus organization of living and the list of items and references, and where do I buy the things to organize the house. It's just out of my head, but just to make you understand that, okay, of course everybody want to have like rich clients, want to work with like high-end products, but who is making more money, like Louis Vuitton or Zara, you know, like this is really arguable. So basically your goal is to make your topic as broad as possible within your specialization, to touch as many people as you can, to actually target a wider audience. And we're gonna see after how can we do it with like the ladder of awareness of Ben Hunt and different other techniques. But basically what you can do and what you should do is like try to target different layers of audience by slightly modifying the offer and the name of your main product. So basically compare, like if you create two options of your offer and you make one, like doesn't matter, free content, reels and reels, or paid content to creative items for the traffic to the paid ads. But in one you will say the 30-day nutrition challenge for weight loss and slimming your body, and on the other one it will be saying 30-day nutrition challenge for improving your skin and hair condition. So basically you're gonna target completely different people who want to lose weight, or people who have acne. And on your landing page, the moment they land on your landing page, you can put it all in bullet points. This is 30 days nutrition challenge, help you to lose weight, to improve your skin condition, to improve your hair, nail condition, have like boost of energy. You can put it all in bullet points and develop each point. But as a point of hook, a point of touch, you can actually divide it and make the testing and see which one gonna have more reaction from your audience. And basically this is a very good strategy to make the A/B testing on the. It doesn't really increase the cost of your production, but it actually broadens the audience you can touch. And as well, don't fall in the trap of the blue ocean. I don't know if you all know the concept of the blue ocean, red ocean. Blue ocean is like when the field is completely empty and you have no competitors. But sometimes there is a trap. If there are no competitors, sometimes it means that there are no money in the niche. Let's say analyze your competitors and make the industrial spy. Check what they are doing, check how they live. And if you don't have competitors, or your competitors are all small and don't make money, maybe in your niche there are no money. So what you have to do, you find your competitors and cross competitors, somebody who will be, let's say, having the same targeted audience but will offer a different type of product. Let's say the fitness club and the dancing studio will have more or less the same targeted audience, because people go there with the same goals, just at some point they made a choice, but they can easily switch. So basically people who do like aquarelle painting can very easily switch to different kind of painting a different kind of hobby or like manual art, just because it's something that they may consider doing. So check your competitors, put down what exactly you like, what you think they do good and why. Implement it to your content if it's comfortable with you, if these strategies are comfortable. Check what people are commenting, check the language people are using, check the questions people are asking. If everybody asking you like if you are like doing, let's stick to painting, the painting courses, and everybody keep on asking where do you buy those brushes, which like brush is the best, make content, make a piece of content, make reels or put it inside of your lesson, how to choose a brush, what is the logic behind choosing a brush, here are the references of brushes I'm buying, and make it deep, make it interesting, make it so that people find answers to their questions. This is very important, that you know your competitors, you spy them, and you know why they are successful. And I want to share with you a case study from my previous work as well, because this is very important. Choosing the topic and choosing the wording you put in the offer is super important. I'm going to give you the example. It's a funny example, but we were launching actually a course for instructors. So basically switch from being a service person to instructor. Doesn't matter the niche here, the concept is not important. So basically it's a switch in status. Yesterday you were a driver, today you are like teaching future drivers. Yesterday you were a librarian, today you educate the future librarians. Doesn't matter. The thing is like the offer was become a teacher and start to win from 6,000 euros per month. The offer was very real, because actually the courses that you're giving in this particular niche can be quite pricey, and having like a very small amount of students per month can actually generate quite a good revenue. The thing is like we launched the campaign, and the sales funnel was very complicated and multi-layered, because as you can understand, it was a course that cost around 5k, and to make this kind of decision normally people need a lot of contact with your business, and the sales funnel was quite complicated and very extended. But we start to get the results and we start to have conversions, so leads start to arrive from this advertising. But what we noticed, they start asking us questions: are you hiring? How can I get the salary of 6k? And we realized that the way that we actually phrased the offer was perceived as people were thinking that we are hiring instructors and paying them 6k. And we had really a huge amount of like empty leads without any ambition to educate themselves or to become instructors, but just people who wanted for free get huge salary, who actually can't do even anything, they were absolutely people not for that product. So we had to very fast switch the campaign, rephrase the offer, and regenerate the traffic. After the case was successful, we made a lot of money with this offer, we sold a lot. But the thing is like, it's very important to speak with the same language of your targeted audience, and be sure that your offer is very clear and that your product is like reading exactly as what it proposes. In the next lesson, we're going to check the product math, how to actually calculate the revenue of your future project, and how to make a business plan if you have never made any, if you don't have an experience in online education, and if you have already made launches and you have some data, how to actually integrate the previous conversion rates in your new calculations, and how based on that make your business plan and make the hypothesis on how to improve and dial up, and on which stage you can dial up the future campaign you will launch very soon. See you in the next lesson.